This time I would like to show you my blog, and I was analyzing the recent Pauper Daily from the 19th of February, and this is the metagame of the 4-0 and 3-1 decks. We have 5 mono blue Devil decks, 3 green white aura decks, and 2 or 3 blue red control decks. One is rather blue red fairies, but I will explain further down. The not very surprising is that we still have familiar decks in the top 8 or in the 4-0 or 3-1 decks. We've got 1 mono white tokens, 1 mono black control. We have a blue, black, and red control deck. This is very strange. This is a very strange deck, but it's interesting just because it has a lot of very interesting approach of having or including red into the deck concept of UB control. It's not very surprising that we have a lot of Devil decks in the main or in the top 8s or top 16s, and we have 5 of them, and 3 of them play only 16 lands. Let's have a look at the deck. Jack says 4-0 deck is like this, and it's got Piracy Charms, which is very interesting because it kills a lot of creatures that are not as strong as they might seem, and it has 3 dice. It completely cuts Treasure Cruisers and plays Gush instead, which is very interesting and pretty nice just to dodge all these high cards. He's got 16 islands, and I think there's a tendency of playing 16 islands and not 17 or 18 anymore. This deck works on 16 islands as long just because you have 8 cantrips, maybe 9 or 10. This is one of the most expensive decks in Pauper. As you can see here, it's 109 bucks. The sideboard is pretty straightforward. You've got 3 removal spells for the green and white matchup. You've got rated arrows just because this deck doesn't have any way to deal with bigger creatures or creatures at all. It's a bit aggro concentrated, but nevertheless we've got other spells or removals to fight control matchups or matchups against red or burn. Another tendency that we can see is that players like Scion of Justice or Delixicov chose to play Auras or Hexproof or Bogles, whatever you might call them. Usually when Delixicov or Scion of Justice play a deck, you have to be sure that this is the choice to play. They chose the Aura decks, and I think this is just because this deck is good against Devil, it's good against blue-red control, and this is a reason for playing this deck, just because the decks, Devil and other blue control decks, are just everywhere in the current meta. And the decks are pretty much the same. Scion of Justice plays Griffix Inside instead of 3 Commune with the Gods, and I think Delixicov plays 3 of the Commune with the Gods, but I'm not sure anymore. The sideboard of Scion of Justice is a bit random, I would say, but I think there is some kind of well thought configuration behind this, this madness or this randomness. Gleeful Sabotage is very interesting. You have to play it in a deck like this. What I don't like about this is that it is that it is a sorcery. I like to have instant speed removal, but card advantage is something that maybe is very good here. Let's see Delixikov's list for comparison. Let's have a look at this one. He plays 4 Blossoming Suns, and he's got 3 Commune with the Gods. Well, this is a difference. He plays Circle Protection just because the matchup against Bird is not very good. You have a Armadillo Cloak, but it's too light sometimes. This one is nice as well. I haven't seen Asher's Favor in a what's it called, in a bogus list before, but this seems to be or might be reasonable. Fair Macabre is good against all kind of graveyards, and I think he plays it because it's the most surprising graveyard hate card. Flaring Pain comes in use if they have Circuit Protection or Moment's Peace or anything like that. I don't want to talk about blue-red control anymore just because I've talked about this in my last one. But this one is very special. It's Peso's blue-red fairy stack, and he did something that I cannot understand. He put in the fairies package, which is very good and surprising, but he's got Maldrifter in there. Why doesn't he play Ninja instead? Because Ninja would be so very good in this spot just because it is uncounterable. It is, or it has to do take a removal. The opponent has to remove the Ninja, and the Ninja, best of all, Kansas resets by Starter Sprite. If your opponent doesn't think of Ninja, plays like a bolt onto your creature in the blocker step, you can easily play Ninja. Another thing is, or another idea behind that is, you get back your spell Starter Sprite and can counter like another spell. If he plays a removal on your Ninja, trying to get rid of it, and you reset spell Starter Sprite for the Ninja, this removal is non-existent anymore because you can play spell Starter Sprite. I don't like brainstorming combination with just three evolving wilds. You should cut one mountain and play 3 or 4 evolving wilds and just one ponder. I'm not sure about that. The list is pretty nice, it's pretty straightforward, but don't play Mildrifter in a list like that. That's all I wanted to say about the list. He might want to add, no, it's okay. Next idea is, I said that I just don't want to talk about Familiars again because the list, oh, it doesn't exist anymore. My link's broken. The Familiars lists are pretty much standard, like all the other Familiars lists we have. We've got the Angler deck finally. This is my most favorite addition to the format, the Galmic Angler. This card is so strong. I think it will redefine the format or change it in some way or kind of way. More people will play Graveyard Hate, and Graveyard Hate will be obligatory in a lot of decks. Let's have a look at the list that what's he called, maybe Grunt or whatever you say or pronounce that plays, and it's the same list that Pascal 3000 played some days ago. Let's have a look at the list. He plays just 2 Jesco Sages and plays Brainstorm, Mental Nodes, and Thought Scours to fill the graveyard. Interesting is Accumulated Knowledge, which can get you out of pretty strange situations where you just run out of gas or cards, and you can play that again. Snuff Out is obligatory. We already saw it in a lot of decks. I've played this deck recently, and I have to say it's a very smooth deck. I thought while first playing this deck, 1 swamp would be enough, but think about it again. If you have Mental Notes and Thought Scours in your deck, you might lose 1 swamp, and you want to get at least 1 swamp to play Snuff Out for the other coast, for the alternative casting coast. I don't like the sideboard too much, just because Raven's Crime is a bit random, and I'm not sure whether this is really good in the deck. I think the Durus is better because you can target the removal. But I might be wrong. While testing, I cut Joking Sands. I mean, Joking Sands is a great card, but since it's got double black, you might not be able to cast it. The same counts for, or the same is true for Vinker's Justice. It is good because it deals 2 damage to all of the other creatures, and it might be nice in a matchup against tokens, but still it's double black, and sometimes you don't have the mana for it. So I think this might be the next deck to beat alongside Delver, just because it's consistent and it will everywhere in the tournament, practice session, or in the dailies. The last deck that I saw is, or that I found interesting, is the control list that Tycoon Man played, and this control deck combines the best removals of red, black, and yeah, blue, if you want to say blue, exclude, in one deck. It's a combination of the old deck that Upson, I guess, was the inventor or creator, played, where you had no creatures at all, just Vinker's Justice and Curse of the Bloody Tomb to win the game. It played black and blue only. He added red for the removal package and for, where is it, Pyroblast. Pyroblast is one of the cards that you have to play in the meta, infected by blue counter spells and nasty blue creatures like Spellstutter Sprites, Delvers, Mildrifters, and things like that. It's just too good to be not played. And if you can get this deck list working, why should you not do it? I'm not sure about the strength of the deck. I guess it's not very consistent because of the mana base, but if you can get it working, this might be very good, a very good choice. 2 other decks saw play in the daily. One deck is mono white tokens. This is kind of straightforward list. I don't like Radiant Fountain in there because it just decreases the consistency of the deck. I'm not sure about Tireless Tribe. Why should you just want to discard any cards in this deck? Why do you want to have it bigger? I mean, it could be that he wanted to dodge Electricity by Tireless Tribe. Why not like 4 Veteran Armor? I think they are way better than Tireless Tribe. But that's what he played, and it's a 3-1, and this is okay. I would cut 1 Righteous Charge because Guardian's Pledge is just better. You don't need this card. I guess 4, 5, 6 pump spells are enough in this deck. The sideboard is pretty standard. You've got Prismatic Strands. This one is nice. So pretty nice deck. I would like to play this as well. I will play it like that if I wanted to, with some slight changes. And this deck is the mono blacklist that is played right now. You play Fume Spitters. I'm not sure why you play them. I guess it's because of mono blue or other decks that rely on small creatures. It's good against tokens as well, mono red tokens I mean, or against any other deck that relies on small creatures. And he added 2 Gourmet Anglers, which is nice because they might rig in this deck as well. The other part of the deck is pretty straightforward. 1 Snuff Out, yeah, why not? This is a great card, why not playing it? But Jukabug is nice because it's good against what's it called, against the Delver Angler deck, but it's not as strong as it seems to be, just because Delver Angler gets a lot of cards back into its graveyard just by using the other spells like the cantrips and things like that. I like Fond of Return. It might be a bit too much since Bazooka Bugs are everywhere. I like Range Mind. Why not as a 4-of? I am not sure why he didn't play it at 4-of. Choking Sounds is pretty nice because this deck is mono black, but I'm not sure whether you really want to have Choking Sounds against Tron, which is a deck that is played. Let me see, maybe I just forgot Tron in my list. Let's see, Pauper. Yeah, we are also have a Lonesome Tron list, which is pretty much the standard list. Let's not talk about this again. So I hope you enjoyed this. Have fun, enjoy the weekend, and if you want to play successfully in the next Pauper Dailies, you have to beat Mono Blue. And I guess it's the deck I will play is a Ferris Angler deck. You can have a look at the Ferris or the Angler Ferris deck contraction on my YouTube channel. Enjoy it, have fun, see you later, bye.